Morning, everyone, and welcome to our Heavenly Parent Holy Community Oceania Hundoke. Today being Ahn Shi, the second day of our 8th 40-day condition, Saturday 20th of November or the 16th of October in the 9th year of Chongyol Guk. And we're together with Rev Kenji Watanabe. So let's offer a bow to our Heavenly Parents and True Parents. Chariot, Shombe. Paro. And let's recite our family pledge, both in Korean and English. Thank you.
가전맨세 2. 천일국 주인, 우리 가족은 참 사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님과 참 부모님을 모시어 천주의 대표적 가정이 되며 중심적 가정이 되어 가정에서는 효자, 국가에서는 춘신, 세계에서는 성인, 천주에서는 선자의 가정의 도리를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다.
Family pledge number 2. Our family, the owner of Chongyol Guk, pledges to represent and become central to heaven and earth by attending the Heavenly Parent and True Parents. We pledge to perfect the dutiful family way of filial sons and daughters in our family, patriots in our nation, saints in the world, and divine sons and daughters in heaven and on earth by centering on true love. So I'd like to ask Greg Stone if you could offer the opening prayer, please.
Please join me in prayer. Dear Heavenly Parent, True Parents, Heaven and Earth, Humankind, we give thanks that we can be gathering each morning as Oceania group to be able to study your word, and especially to learn more about True Mother, our wonderful Mother of peace and restoration for this world and hope for this world. And we're so grateful also to be able to be living at this time when we think about the past history of thousands of years. We can see that our people really couldn't advance. We couldn't go beyond the barriers of restoration. Certainly we could never reach perfection. But now we have everything. We have the blessing. We can change our lineage. We can understand everything through the teachings of divine principle and our true parents' words. And everything is so clear now. And our main issue is how we can fulfill our portion of responsibility. And we pray, therefore, that we can be constantly studying your word. We can really be purifying ourselves and disciplining and strengthening ourselves, and being able to also reach out to others through all of our different witnessing efforts and becoming chombo couples. So we just give thanks to you, and we want to also help to strengthen each other, be able to support each other, to be able to put into practice all the things that we've learned in the past through having good vertical alignment and loving others, living for the sake of others, all these things. So thank you once again. We want to give thanks that we can gather together this morning, centered on Reverend Yutaka. Please join us. I pray in the name of Greg and Reiko, Stonebridge Central Family. Arju.
Thank you. And let's give a warm welcome to Reverend Kenji as he shares with us this morning. Thank you.
Good morning, brothers and sisters. Happy Ahn Shi. Is that the right expression on the Ahn Shi? I'm not sure, but yeah, happy Ahn Shi to everyone. So I'm really glad to see you every day. And yeah, I'm really honored to be able to have the opportunity to share True Mother's message this morning, as I got the special the intention, I mean, special, the emotional feeling on the mother's message. And yeah, just I'd like to share the slideshow, and let me set up the, let me set up slideshow, just a moment. I hope you can see the slide. Is it? Is it okay?
It's still opening, looks like. I mean, we can see you're just waiting for it to go full screen. That's all.
Oh, okay.
Just run the slide. Just, yeah. No. Is it running on your side? This.
I
Yeah,
think
there
so.
it goes. It's coming. It's coming.
It's coming.
Yeah, yeah. It's there now.
Okay, okay. It's good. All right. So, through the mother's message that I'd like to share this morning is that at the time when we had the Heavenly Parents Holy Community Grand Festival of Chombo family sharing Hyojon testimonies, which was held on 29th of August 2021. Actually, I think a 2-day conference, and then a second day through mother gave the message. Actually, very interesting things happened to me and to partner headquarters of the Heavenly Parents Holy Community Family Federation for World Peace Unification New Zealand at the time. When through mother started talking, our partner building was struck by thunder lightning. Can you imagine that? And our TV is gone because of that. But fortunately, I was watching the through mother's message through the internet. Internet was okay, but the TV was gone, and all the other appliances was okay, but only TV is gone. But interestingly, myself and my wife Keiko saw the physical thunder lightning as they coming into the panel, and we were shocked. But anyway, most of the things was okay, only TV. And I just start to remember about the what happened in 2001 when the cross on the top of the Unification Theological Seminary was destroyed, and yeah, all sorts of the thinking I have been accumulating, and then I'd like to share some sort of the thought through mother's message this time. Is it? Oops, something went wrong, I think. Just a moment. Just a moment. Indeed. Is it okay? Probably not okay, right?
But we can see the slide. It's just not full screen.
Oh, why is that? Probably need to close again. On the rehearsal, it was okay. And just a moment. What's happening now? Nothing.
Now we don't even see your slides. You just looks like you're trying to find your PowerPoint presentation.
Okay. Oh, very sorry. Just a moment. Just a moment. Stop sharing once again. And
Yeah, and then just go to start. Yeah,
then
yeah.
I hope it works. Can you see?
Not yet. I mean, you've clicked the button. Just wait. Yeah, that's
Don't you go to slide share at the slideshow at the top? Click slideshow.
yeah. He's got it. It's open. But do you
Okay.
have two screens?
Yeah,
Or
two
one?
screens.
Okay.
Probably has
It-
to probably.
It's running on the other screen.
Yeah. Probably I just close the another screen. Then probably it works.
Yeah, there it is there.
Okay.
And you've got now run the
Yeah. Finally. Yes.
Yes, yeah.
Oh, sorry. Wow. Still hard to manage the technical things. Okay, here we go. So this is Tsuruma's mother's message when she gave the message at the time of the Chombo family testimonial event. Today, I am proud of you all as a result of all the hard work and effort you have put in up until now to fulfill your responsibilities as Chombo couples. So you are making a start as the first generation of Cheonggil-guk families. When I was a young girl, I had a dream. It was not long after our country had gone through the Korean War, so it was not in a normal state. Its mountains and the rivers had been devastated, and our people were going through a time of tremendous hardship. It was at the time that I fell in love with many beautiful songs written in America in the 1800s. Among these, I especially like the word of the Home on the Range, which was written about 100 years after the founding of the United States, when cowboys were working hard to pioneer the West. The song speaks of their dream that one day they would build a home on a beautiful hillside where deer antelopes run free under the cloudless sky and live there without any worries or concern. I remember many songs from that era. So this was something special that True Mother share about the early days memory, and easily feel emotion of her when she listened to nice music composed by the American who literally saved her country. And the lyrics of the song really enable her to visualize what the original ideal world look like, beautiful world look like. So I think this is a kind of 3 minutes, and I hope that I can manage time. Let me show this.
Oh, give me a home where the buffalo roam, where the deer and the antelope play, where seldom is heard a discouraging word, and the skies are not cloudy all day. Home, home on the range, where the deer and the antelope play, where seldom is heard a discouraging word, and the skies are not cloudy all day. How often at night, where the heavens are bright, with the light of the glittering stars, have I stood there amazed and asked as I gazed if their glory exceeds that of ours. Home, home on the range, where the deer and the antelope play, where seldom is heard a discouraging word, and the skies are not cloudy all day.
Right, and just let me continue. So it's about that time in 1960 that I stepped into the position of the true parent, because I was the only one that could. However, from my perspective of the providence, many of the early members seem to have no interest in the only begotten daughter. Despite that, I persevered and waited. God accomplishes his will unfailingly. He knows no failure. That is why, for the sake of heaven, I had no choice but to wait until my time came. Finally, I was able to declare Foundation Day and the founding year of Cheonggil-guk. Yet making a proclamation is not enough. It is true parents' responsibility to create the environment wherein our Heavenly Parent can realize his dream on earth. That is why I declare that I am the only begotten daughter. After I had done so, although many were agitated in their understanding, but in the work draw together the divided religions. This provided the way to embrace the Muslims. In so doing, I was able to accomplish the feat of the restoring the 7 religious orders, 7 nations, and a continent, and go on to proclaim the firm establishment of Cheongil-guk. Declaring it firmly established does not mean that the environment has been fully prepared. This country where true parents were born needs to stand as a nation that can attend them. 2,000 years ago, when Jesus Christ came, the people of Israel were in an environment wherein they could be established as a central nation that could take on law, yet this resulted in failure. So True Mother expressed the how to say some kind of the agony as the nation who has been prepared as a third Israel haven't been able to really cope with true parents to realize the God's nation. And True Mother is the alarming that we shouldn't make same mistake as people of Israel 2,000 years ago treated Jesus as he was crucified. So then let me share some interesting things happened in 2001. Actually, as we are all the members of the unification movement, we know that original mission of the Jesus and cross, which is a symbol of the failure of the leaders in those days who had been prepared 4,000 years before Jesus came. So this excerpts coming from the Journal of the Unification Study, written by Dr. Michael Mikla. He was the teacher of the church history at the Unification's Theological Seminary. So according to Divine Principle and the Father's teachings, it was obvious that the cross was the not the victory of the Jesus. And Father mentioning about the taking down of the crosses, the couple of occasions, but our movement didn't take action. So then what happened in 2001? June 11th was that on the evening of June 11th, there was a thunderstorm in the mid-Hudson Valley. A bolt of lightning struck the 5-foot high stone cross that had stood at the top of our seminary for its 70 years of existence. The cross is not grounded, so the energy had no place to go out, but out horizontally. This snapped the cross at its base, separating it from the building, and blew off both arms. So one arm fell with the pillar of the cross backwards onto the roof. The other careened forward with the pieces falling upon building parapets and to the ground as far as 60 feet away. No one was hurt, but one car suffered damage. Actually, damage was the really minimum, as nobody was hurt. So yeah, when you see the photo on right side, there are no cross anymore. But when I was studying in UTS, yes, I clearly remember that the big symbol of the cross on top of the main chapel. And just yeah, photo I just put for the good memory. So you might be able to find the familiar face on the photo top right, top left. I think she's Mary, isn't she?
Yes.
And I was very dark, and I cannot recognize myself standing here. Yeah. And the photo on the top left, the down left was the photo taken with the not my not my physical parents or grandparents, spiritual children. As a pastor in the Christian Science. They became the blessed families, and they join me to celebrate the graduation. So I really appreciate it. So at the time, yeah, cross was the there on the top of the chapel, and when I was graduated, I graduated from the UTS. At the time was the 15 years anniversary of the Washington Times. And I just remember, yeah, that's why the special mission was given to me and the other 31 graduates to expand the Washington Times Foundation to worldwide. So any point is that our movement didn't take a serious action despite the true parents' request. And some frustration built up in through parents' heart, I think. And around that time, ACLC was about, I think, starting, and around that time, Archbishop Stalin also joined in, but still didn't fully comprehend what the true parents wanted to the Christian American clergies. So this was the speech given by true father on the occasion of the 20th anniversary of the Washington Times banquet, 21st May 2002. Actually, father really wanted to take the cross on the churches down, since the true father heard that the cross on the top of the our Unification Theological Seminary was struck by thunder lightning. But still, the movement didn't really take action. Then father's speech was a really extraordinary speech. It wasn't actually not fit with the occasion as the 20th anniversary of the Washington Times, but we really fell to the father's heart through the message. Just I would like to share some part of the speeches. I want to make one declaration to you here today. The crucifixion was not God's victory. Instead, it was Satan's victory. You will remember that Jesus said to those who arrested him in the Garden of Gethsemane, "This is your hour when darkness reigns." Luke 22:53. So you need to know that the cross was the place where the nation that God had prepared for 4,000 years was lost. The place where the religious faith of Israel was lost. And the place where the followers of John the Baptist, 12 disciples, the thief on the right, and everything else was lost. So you need to know that Christianity was not there on the cross. So when did Christianity begin? Jesus resurrected after 3 days and spent the 40 days meeting the disciples he had lost, who had turned against him. The Holy Spirit descended on the disciples, and you need to know that it was only then that Christianity began. Christians for the past 2,000 years have believed in Christianity without knowing that it came into existence not by the principle of the cross, but by the principle of the resurrection. If you realize this fact, then you must repent, because Christianity began on the foundation of Jesus' resurrection. Christianity has been strictly spiritual. So Christianity and Judaism should realize even now that the Lord, who tried to demolish Satan's nation and do away with Satan's kingship, and to accomplish God's will and restore humanity, died a tragic death. When they realize this, they should repent and become one. They should become one and prepare to receive the Lord on his return. Trust must conform to reason. The time has come for all Christians to throw off the age of blind faith and move ahead into a new age, united as one, to sort out this world and bring it to salvation. So you need to know that the time has come in which the term unification is essential. That's the main message of the father's speech at the time. And it was very clear that the Jesus' mission and people who are supposed to receive the Messiah were supposed to do. And this speech planted the seeds, but again resulted in no action. So then this is also the excerpt from the article written by the Dr. Mikra. Very interesting. A third of the preceding event came from unlike quarter. A 70-year-old Buddhist nun associated with the Korean unification movement. She's not the member, but associates. Received the liberation from Jesus in early August 2002, instructing her to take down the crucifix hung in the Christian churches. Afterwards, together with followers from the Buddhist temple, Christian believers and Unification Church members, she held a service for taking down the crosses. So according to FWB International President Sun Jo-fan, who received this report, when father heard the news, he said that now was the kindling necessary to light a fire. Then finally, the taking down the cross movement substantially started. Okay, we have still time. Just let me conclude. So let us go back to the original speech that True Mother gave. So in this age of Cheonggil-guk, however, true parents are in the position of having accomplished providence on us and can dedicate a temple in which we can attend Heavenly Parent on us. But it is not only up to them to fulfill this task. It depends on the blessed families, the proud Chombo families of Cheonggil-guk. When the number of Chombo families is sufficiently increased, true parents' dream, that is, the realization of heavenly unified Korea, must be achieved, while true mother, the only begotten daughter, is still here on earth. Please know that through your effort and devotion, we are now just one step away from the top of the hill at the point of recapturing the highest ground. So by the way, this background photo is taken from the Cheon Jong-un looking down the hill, and you see Cheonwon-gun's construction. Wow, almost 70 to 80% have been done. So as mother said, that just completion is the soon, just one step away from the top of the hill. Let me continue. Our Heavenly Parent is love itself. As long as Heavenly Parent's love is with us, the people of Korea will need to stand upright and become the heavenly unified Korea. Once again, I bless you all to become the victorious Chombo families and the blessed families as you continue working to make that a reality. So in this garden of Cheongwon complex is similar to the hill I dreamed of when I was a young girl, where there are no worries, no concerns, and no clouds in the sky. The dream of true mother, the only begotten daughter, has come true. One day on my way here, I saw a small deer in broad daylight, the place where the deer and the antelope roam, the beautiful Garden of Eden, the Cheongwon complex. Please show much love for the Cheongwon complex, the homeland of Heavenly Parent. This is like the hometown of all people, which you tend with love and devotion. So we are living with true Mother on earth, true Father in heaven, most exciting time as the humankind, representative of the humankind. And we become the ancestors of the all descendants. And we will see a substantial dream of the heavenly parents and true parents in form of the Cheongwon-gun in 2023. But as mother said that without the Chombo families, we cannot substantiate the Cheonggil-guk as no citizen for the Cheonggil-guk. So I really was made the strong determination through the this speech with the very unique experience I had. So conclusion for this the message and incident that happened to me and happened to here Parnell was that multiplying the Chombo families and the determination to make a substantial dream, which is the much bigger than we expect. And I deeply appreciate for the our leadership as PCLC, Pacific Christian Leadership Conference, was launched with the True Mother's blessing. which is driving vehicle to substantial Cheonggyeulguk region in this Oceania. And so finally, just I'd like to share this concept, which struck the in my heart all time, as far as I work in Oceania, which is the concept of the Banua, Whenua in Maori, and other countries express the concept in their own language. So concept of Banua is actually a Pan-Pacific concept. Whenua in New Zealand, Fonua in Tonga, Whenua or Enua in other parts of the Polynesia, Benua in parts of Indonesia, and also Banua in Vanuatu, which has adopted it at the core of the name for the modern island nation state. As an all-encompassing concept, Banua is not just land, but the land, our waters, our traditions, our ancestors, our farmlands, our forest, our architecture, our food, our very identity, and the life-giving spirit that has nurtured our peoples of countless centuries. So this concept is shared in the most of the Pacific Island nations and Maori people in here in New Zealand. And this is the common base to work with. So, and I'm totally convinced that PCLC with the Pacific, the concept of the Banua gonna create the everlasting, the new civilization centering on God. And by the way, Whenua means in Maori about the placenta, which is a life code, and the concept of the Whenua is the really connection with the Mother Earth. And finally, I would like to show this the short video clip, then finish. It was the placenta. So thank you very much. So once again, conclusion is that, yeah, multiplying the Chombo families and really need to rededicate for the dream, God's dream, and Oceania has to take a lead for the new millennium, utilizing the resource, and this one gonna solve the problems of the global warming, sea level rise, and all that. Anyway, lot to share, but I just would like to finish now. Thank you very much for your kind attention. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Reverend Kenji. Thank you for sharing with us Mother's words and sharing about the lightning strike. There's a few things that struck me as I was listening to you, that it was because of Mother's declaration of her only status as the only begotten daughter that Mother was enabled to restore 7 religious orders, 7 nations, and a continent. And so mother was saying how people didn't recognize the value of that, or didn't even recognize that the fact that she was the only begotten daughter in the time of the marriage of the Lamb back in 1960, when she took her position as true mother. But through that declaration, she was able to gain those victories and establish the nation of Chongyulguk. And the other thing that was I took was that Israel was at that time of Jesus supposed to take on Rome, which means that Korea, in essence, this time now is to take on the USA, not in the sense of taking it over, but in the sense of being the spiritual core or the spiritual heart. And the other thing was about the lightning strike. A couple of things I found interesting there. To me, lightning strike is a turning point. And I noticed it was 70 years, the age of UTS, when the cross was struck, and it was a 70-year-old nun that got the movement going for taking down the crosses around Christian buildings and churches. So, and Father saying that Christianity is strictly spiritual, but it's a turning point. The lightning strike is saying it's time to change. It's time to move away from that spiritual aspect and to make something a reality. And I just wanted to share the last thing is also a couple of experiences of lightning strikes. I was next to a tree up in Queensland, maybe 10 meters away from it. And this tree was struck by lightning in front of me, and it literally split in half. And I was noticing that, when the lightning struck the cross, it was literally split in half and pieces went everywhere and only small damage. And then there was a brother I knew in England who was going through some decision making, and he decided to make a condition where he stood in front of a tree until midnight, and then at midnight he was going to go back, and he stood there, and then it started to rain. It was dry when he went into the forest and stood in front of this tree, and it started to rain and it built up, and then this tree right in front of him, and he was literally standing in front of the tree, basically touching it. And it was hit by lightning, and it split and shattered, and shards of wood embedded the trees around him, but he was left untouched. And that was his turning point. And God telling him, look, I'm real, I'm here, and I want you to fulfill your responsibility. And so he remained in the movement and still is. And so I've had in realization that lightning strike is a turning point. And there's other times I've had situations with lightning strikes, but I won't say them here. But I feel that a very significant change was that lightning strike that hit the cross on top of the UTS building. And really it's an indication for Christianity to really change and recognize its true purpose, and to recognize that the only begotten daughter is the reason why Christianity exists, for the marriage of the Lamb. Anyway, so there were some of my thoughts when Reverend Kenji was sharing with us. So thank you. And I'll open it up to the others. Yes, Doug, go ahead.
I just want to briefly elaborate on what John just said. And Reverend Kenji, really appreciated your morning service. You had me at the first opening remarks about lightning. There's nothing wrong with an oak tree, and there's nothing wrong with a television, but it's how you work with the oak tree and what you make of it. So the cross was a tragedy in human history. And even today at the Lord of the Second Advent, the TV has been weaponized, just like the oak tree. And both when you said that your TV was out of commission and struck by the lightning, I equated that immediately with the cross, you know, and as John said, the turning point, representing the turning point. So when True Father said, take down the cross, we had to replace it with a crown. So to elaborate on the idea of John's Korean culture statement, you know, we should very much discern what we're watching on TV and take it down. Don't pay attention. You know, that has been used symbolically through the mainstream medias to crucify true parents to True Father's entire life, you know. So we should really take down the works of the satanic television, and then maybe start watching Korean dramas much more, you know. And that's about all. Thank you.
Thanks, Doug. Yes, Margaret, go ahead.
I agree. I just watched a Korean drama last night. I really appreciate Reverend Watanabe for that insight in Polynesian Vanua. And just to report, yesterday was a funeral for one of the traditional chiefs that we attended. And in Palauan culture, it's the women called Orot, those matriarchal leaders in each clan that chooses a chief. So at the funeral, that woman will take that title of the passing chief, and then they will have a meeting afterwards to choose another one. I wanted to report that one of my elder sisters was in that taking in the group of women taking the title from the traditional chiefs, and there was a cemetery between three women in the three clans, and it was my sister, who is an ambassador for peace, who made peace in talking to everyone, and these are women. So we know through history it has been patriarchal leadership, but also women have to overcome their own egos. So they're fighting over the three main clans are fighting over who's going to choose the next chief. And when the ego gets in, then they fight. So just before they took the chief to the burial, there were some infighting within the abai. This is the meeting house. So the ambassador for peace really did a good job in calming all the women down and saying, let's complete the journey for this traditional chief, and then later and mentioning, because it's now Saturday in Palau, that we go to church on Sunday and pray. So she was able to bring in the religious side for everyone to think of reconciliation. So the role of women in reconciliation is so critical in our Pacific Rim, especially in the island nations. And so been praying to think of how we can move forward in really getting key women in all the island nations to begin to really work on this reconciliation, as we know, the first educator is a mother, because she has the child for 9 months before coming into the world of air. So these are some of the good things that Reverend Watanabe brought out this morning that I really appreciate. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. It's now time for us to offer our unison prayer. So I'll just share the screen. And let's pray together. Jew. Thank you, everyone, and have a great day. And watch the think tank today.
Come on, sit down, Mickey. You
Yeah. Bye, everyone. Today, Jeffrey is going with his 3 ladies, and we're going to give the blessing.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Have a great blessing day.
Yeah, we will.
See you later.